Hello and welcome to yet another lecture on power generation and economics. Myself, Prathita Roy, Assistant Professor of Dr. Sudhir Chandra Engineering College, Electrical Engineering Department. So we have already learned that how easily we can approach to the solution of economic power generation. Now today we will learn about the tariff. Means our topic is introduction to tariff. So in order to go into the tariff, so we have to know that what is tariff. Tariff is the rate at which electrical energy is supplied to a consumer is known as tariff. So what does it mean that the electrical energy is supplied to a consumer? Means we already know that we have a brief idea about the two costs. One is known as the fixed cost and one is known as the running cost. The fixed cost is the doesn't depend upon the number of productions are there, but the running cost is the salary. Those costs are changing the salary, the wages, is the maintenance are there. So amount of energy a consumer is consuming or is consumed, he or she have to pay for that particular energy consumed. So the design of that tariff is such a way that it will be considered those fixed costs, the running costs, and along with the profit. The margin of the profit is not moved because we have to be those consumers, all the consumers must be taken into the account in order to design the tariff. So the electrical energy that is produced and electrical energy that is produced by a power station is delivered to a large number of consumers. Our main motto is to how economically we can deliver the power to the consumers. So the electrical energy that is produced in a power station, our main motto is to deliver to a large number of consumers. The consumers can be the consumers can generally use those electrical energies if it is sold at a reasonable rate. Means those electrical energy has to be sold in a reasonable rate. The tariff, that is the rate at which, that I have told, the rate at which the electrical energy is sold naturally becomes attention inviting for electric supply company. So means that supply company has to ensure, means that the tariff is such that it not only recover the total cost that I have just told of producing electrical energy, but also earn profit on the capital investment. However, the profit must be meaningful, means the profit that is earned by the electrical company must be marginal, particularly for a country like India, where the electric supply companies come under public sector and are always subject to, means that the tariff that is charged must be considered the two costs, or the fixed costs and the running cost, along with some reasonable profit. Okay. So a tariff is a tax that a government collects on goods coming into a country. So it is seen that although the tariff should include the total cost of producing and supplying electrical energy plus the profit, yet it cannot be the same for all types of consumers. So tariff is very depending upon the consumers. It is because the cost of production, means the product, producing electrical energy depend to a considerable, the cost of the producing electric energy is depend to a considerable extent upon the magnitude of electrical energy consumed by the users and its load conditions. What amount of electric energy that is consumed by the users and also the load conditions. For that purpose, due to the consideration has to be given to different types of consumers, that is the industrial consumers, that is the domestic consumers, and the commercial consumers, while fixing the tariff value. It makes the problem of suitable rate making highly complicated. So when we are dealing with the tariff, so those types of consumers must be also be taken into the account. Means the energy consumed by the electric industrial consumer is not same by the energy consumed by an domestic or a commercial consumer. So that rate that is charged for them for the different consumer must be different. Okay, so that the so it means it make an balance between the supply and also the consumers. So now, what is the objective of a tariff? The objective of a tariff is like other commodities that we have. Electrical energy is also sold at such a rate so that it not only returns the cost but also earn reasonable profit. Therefore, a tariff should include the following items. First is the recovery of production cost. Is the recovery of the production cost or the cost of producing electrical energy at the power station. Second one is the recovery of cost of capital investment in transmission and distribution system. Means recovery of capital investment cost. Third one is the recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply of electrical energy. But I have told that recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply of electrical energy, that is metering, equipment, billing, etc. And the fourth one is the suitable profit of the capital investment. That a capital investment that we have done, we have to earn a suitable profit of that capital investment. So what are the objectives? First objective of a tariff is to, because tariff is also sold by the electrical energy in view that they are also some those running and the fixed costs and along with a reasonable profit depending upon the consumers. So the consumers may be an industrial consumer and the consumer may be an domestic consumer or consumer may be an commercial consumer. So depending upon those consumers, they have to design tariff in such a way that it is profitable for the company and also profitable for the consumers. So the objective is that I have told that the recovery of the cost of producing electrical energy at power station means that we have to recover the production cost at the power station. Means for electricity production how many cost we have required, we have given, or that we have to pay. So this cost can be recovered where tariff is given to a consumer, rate of the tariff is given to a consumer. Recovery of cost of capital investment in the transmission and the distribution system means that for a transmission and the distribution system, there is a capital investment is there. Means those transmission lines, transformers are there, towers are there. So we have all those installations, all the maintenance of those towers, those transmission lines have to be included in the while you design the tariff. But again, it is the reasonable recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply electric energy, that is metering, equipment, and billing means all the maintenance and all the salaries of those personals are also be included. Means the tower maintaining, the maintaining of the equipment that is connected in the transmission lines, also the transmission lines maintaining are there. And it is also we have taken the concern that the different circumstances, different weather conditions are also be concerned during this, and the suitable profit of the on the capital investment. So a capital investment that we have done, we have to earn a suitable profit. So these mottos or these objectives are taken into account when we design a tariff. So let us discuss one by one about the desirable characteristics of a tariff. So first one is the proper return. So what is proper return? So proper return is that the tariff should be such that it ensures the proper return from each consumer. Means that each consumer which consumes the electrical energy must provide a proper return. In other words, we can say that the total receipts from the consumer must be equal to the cost of producing and supplying electrical energy plus the reasonable profit. Means the consumer which is returning to the company for the electrical energy consumed is a summation of the cost of the production of the electrical energy, supplying of the electrical energy, plus a reasonable profit. So these three will be there. So this will enable the electric supply company to ensure continuous and reliable service to the consumer. So this is the general conception of proper return. Proper return means we have to design the tariff in such a way that when a consumer consume the electric energy, designing a tariff, we have to design in such a way that the cost of production of the electrical energy, cost of plus the cost of supplying the electric energy plus a reasonable profit must be come into the account from that particular return. This is called the first motto is the proper return. Second one is the fairness. So what does the term fairness suggest? It suggests that the tariff must be fair to the different types of consumers are satisfied with the rate of change of electrical energies. Again, I have told the different types of consumers, the industrial consumers, the domestic consumers, the commercial consumers. Those consumers are consume different energies, means the unit that their consumers are different. So the tariff must be designed in view or in concern with those consumers. Means the industrial consumers that consume more amount of energy with respect to a domestic consumer. So tariff must be designed in such a way. Thus, a big consumer, that way I have told, that a big consumer should be charged at a lower rate than a smaller consumer. The big consumer which consume the more energy must be charged at a lower rate. Okay, than the small consumer. It is because increased energy consumption spare the fixed charges over a greater number of units, thus reducing the overall cost of producing electrical energy. It is given that the increased energy consumption spares the fixed charge over a greater number of units. Thus, it is reducing the overall cost of producing electrical energy. Similarly, a consumer whose load condition do not deviate much from the ideal, that is non-variable, should be charged at a lower rate than one whose load condition changes from the ideal. Means a constant load consumer must be charged at a lower rate. The cost of producing electrical energy is not same for all the consumer, but increase with the increasing departure of increase with the increasing of the consumer's load condition from the idea. So this is the known as the fairness of the tariff. So how much it is fair. Third one is the simplicity. Simplicity means the tariff should be simple so that an ordinary consumer can easily understand it. A tariff should be simple so that an ordinary consumer can easily understand how much he or she have to pay for consuming an electrical energy. A complicated tariff may cause an opposition from the public, which is generally distrustful of supply companies. Means if I make a design of a complicated design of a tariff, So it cannot be able to understand by the common people. So there will be an complexity come with the people. So it will make a simple way of designing so that every each and every consumer can understand that how much he or she have to pay for amount of energy consumed. The fourth one is the reasonable profit. So reasonable profit means the profit element in the tariff should be reasonable. An electric supply company is a public utility company and generally enjoys the benefit of monopoly. Therefore, the investment is relatively safe due to non-competition in the market. This is called for the profit to be restricted to 8% or so per annum. Means profit must be reasonable. So that this reasonable profit, if the profit is more, it will price that which the tariff is given to the consumer is more. So the profit must be reasonable in order to so that the consumer can easily able to give those charges of the electricity. And the fifth one is the attractive. The tariff should be attractive so that a large number of consumers are encouraged to use electric energy. Effort should be made to fix the tariff in such a way so that the consumers can pay easily. So means a tariff must be attractive so it can attract the consumer so that they can easily able to pay this. So what are the desirable characteristics of a tariff that I have discussed is a proper return. Means we have to design the tariff in such a way that the proper return will coming from the consumers considering all the running costs, the fixed costs and the reasonable profit. Fairness, the tariff should be designed in a fair way means more the consumers, the tariff is less value. They have to if they consume more energy, they have to pay the less values. And if it is consume a low energy means low amount of energy and low amount of units, so you have to pay the more values. So it make a balance between the low consumer and the high consumers. Simplicity, it must be very much simple in order means it is the designing must be very much simple so that each and every consumer can understand that how much he or she have to pay to the company. If it is complicated, it creates a complexity between the in between the consumers. So reasonable profit, the fourth one, that tariff should be designed in such a way that the profit should be reasonable. It will become in consideration that the profit should be reasonable, and it is given that the profit should be restricted to 8% or so per annum. And the last one is the attractive. That's the tariff should be designed in such a way it should be attractive to the consumers so that they can easily able to pay those rate that which they are charged. So what we have done today, we have found the different types of tariffs. What is tariff first? And what we have learned today that what is the tariff? Tariff means that the how much energy we have consumed. Just recall our memory. What is tariff and why the tariff is required? First, the tariff is that the rate at which the electrical energy is supplied to a consumer if is known as tariff means the rate at which the energy is supplied to a consumer means consumer have to pay this in a amount of money for a particular unit. So this is known as tariff. So again, why tariff is required? Because electric company that supplies the power, they have a fixed cost, they have a running cost, means they they have to give the salary, wages, and maintenance costs, and along with some reasonable profit is there. So they means those costs have to be overcome, and some reasonable profit they have to add with it. So that is why they have charged, because this electrical energy is also sold by those companies, so they have to charge to a consumer. Now we have seen the different types of characteristics of a tariff. So the objective of the tariff that we have seen that the recovery of the cost of producing electrical energy in the power station, recovery of cost of capital investment in the transmission and the distribution system, recovery of cost of operation and maintenance of supply of electrical energy, that is metering, equipment, billing, etc., and a suitable profit on the capital investment. So this is the objectives of a tariff. So we know what is tariff, why tariff is there, why tariff is required, what is tariff, and why tariff is required, and what is the objective of a tariff. And what is the characteristics of a tariff? What are the characteristics? The characteristics are the proper return from the consumers. The fairness, there will be fairness will be given so that the each and every consumer must be benefited. The simplicity, the tariff should be designed in a simple way so that each and every consumer can be understand and give their return. Reasonable profit, a reasonable profit will be there, but it is not more than 8% per annum or so. And the last one is the attractive. The tariff must be designed in such a way it is attractive so that each and every consumer can pay this tariff. And all the proper uh, characteristics of a tariff are there in order to design the tariff. Thank you.